comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So today I think I'm just going to do a little bit of hypothesizing on where the world may be going, because there's a lot of fucking shit going on at the moment, and in some way it's all interconnected, like everything is, like everything in the known universe. So what have we got at the moment? We've got Israel fucking bombing Gaza. We've got Russia fighting the Ukraine over there, which is pretty much a proxy war against the US and NATO. It's funny. Well, not funny, but 3 weeks ago, that was the war that was going to end everything. That was the one that was going to kick off World War III. Well, when we look back in history, that will be the start of World War III. Have no fucking doubts about it. World War III started a year and a half ago, whenever that fucking war started. But now the Israel and Palestine thing has definitely got fucking more attention, and the Russia-Ukraine war has sort of become a little bit of a stalemate. Ukraine aren't making any ground. They're getting absolutely fucking smashed over there. And not only that, this fucking war has made Russia stronger. Don't listen to what anyone on the news is saying. The Russians are stronger now. The old fucking Russian bear, who hasn't been in like any war of significance for fucking years, has now got some fucking fighting under its belt, some fucking rounds. Not only that, they know World War III has started. So all their munitions and fucking war machine factories are on 24/7 now. They're just churning it out, and they have all the resources they need. They are a self-sufficient society. They have all the oil, all the food, all the natural gas, all the fertilizer they want. They have they have everything. They don't need anything from anyone. That's probably why they're hated so much. So the last 18 months has made Russia stronger. Anyway, that seems to have sort of ended up in a stalemate, although Zelensky could do some crazy shit to get the attention fucking back on them again, but we'll see how that all plays out. It's still a fucking powder keg over there, but it's the Israel-Palestine thing that could be a fucking problem. Look, the way I see that playing out is Israel will go so far overboard, which they probably already have. Actually, what the fuck am I talking about? They definitely already have. But they'll go further. They'll take it to the extreme length, and this will force the other surrounding Muslim countries, even if they don't want to, they'll have to respond. You haven't really got fucking like big threats out there. You've got Egypt and whatever. You've got Turkey. Turkey have a long history of being fucking crazy fighters. If they join it, it could get messy. There's the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Syria, all that sort of shit, but they're not really in positions to fucking help. But then there's the bogeyman, Iran, and there's been a lot of fucking talk about Iran backing Hamas. It feels like this whole thing, in some way, for some reason, is about dragging Iran into the conflict. Who knows what the reasons are behind that? I heard Iran's like a few months away from getting a nuclear bomb. That changes the power dynamics of the whole fucking region. Could be oil. They've got a lot of fucking oil over there. Who knows what the reasons are, but Iran has been in the fucking bad books for quite a long time. You can even go back to like the Shah, who was a puppet of the US, being overthrown and it becoming sort of like a Muslim state. Anyway, if Iran gets dragged into the conflict, then all bets are fucking off, because there seems to be some sort of alliance between Iran, Russia, and China. And you got to remember, Israel is just a very small little country out there in the Middle East. So this won't be Israel's war. This will be America's war as well. America will be fucking fighting this war with or for Israel. So Iran gets dragged in, then I suppose Russia and China have no fucking choice but to join the conflict as well. In some way, if not directly, then full fucking behind the scenes support, like a proxy war, like what's happening in the Ukraine. So Israel and Iran and whatever other countries fucking join the mix there are fighting each other. But in the background, the US are fighting Russia and even possibly China. So this is just the start. And this is already stretching the fucking US military pretty thin. You got a couple of proxy wars on different fronts, thousands of miles apart. And then something will happen and China will be provoked into something. Something will happen. I've heard the Philippines, there was a threat against China doing fucking whatnot to the Philippines. And there's always Taiwan there as well. That would be the final phase of World War III. Once China enters, then it's full on. At that stage, the American fucking military is stretched so thin that how can you win? To me, that's what it's all about. To me, this is all about the destruction of America. And I heard this the other day. Someone was like, you can't beat America from outside. No one from the outside, no other country can beat America. America has to be defeated from within. And that seems to be what the fuck is happening. It just seems like that. You've got the fucking open border policy in the US. You got fucking millions of fucking people from other countries just crossing the border, which is just... that is destabilizing in itself. On top of that, you've just got an economic policy that is in a fucking death spiral. There's pretty much no way fucking out of it. At some point, the economy collapses, whether it's through hyperinflation or deflation. There's only two options. So that happens 100%. There's no way out of it unless it's war, which is the way it's happened throughout history. So you've got the economic collapse of the US, you've got the destabilizing immigration, not to mention the country's completely fucking divided ideologically. You've also had the US's strategic petroleum reserve fucking absolutely depleted over the last year. They're just fucking selling barrels from that. I think they've got 17 days left in reserve now. They say they were doing that to keep fucking oil prices down, but who the fuck knows? So fucking economic collapse, oil fucking reserves depleted, destabilizing amount of fucking illegal / border crosses going into the US. All it would take is a fucking economic event which causes contagion, then liquidity dries up, there's no money in the fucking system, rationing starts, rationing might even start because of war, then people start turning on each other. People are ready to turn on each other anyway. You've got all the new immigrants in there. People start turning on them. Everyone turns on each other and looks at each other with hatred and thinks it's them that put them in this situation. And anyone who was thinking rationally would know it's not the fucking dude standing next to you in the fucking rationing line who did this to you. But at that stage, you're not really thinking rationally, are you? So it's the divide and conquer. The old divide and conquer. Tried and tested. So I guess some sort of civil war breaks out in the US. There will be no good guys and bad guys in this either. It will just be total fucking chaos. There's no sides to take. So this is all hypothetical as well. This is just a thought experiment. So US descends into civil war. The US military is fucking stretched beyond its capabilities. The entire world economy seizes up. It becomes a period of great, immense austerity. Standard of living drops. It becomes chaos. The world would have to restructure in some way. I guess there'll be so much chaos that eventually people will want someone to come in and restore order. So I guess you'll be willing to throw away what is left of your freedoms. I'm going to predict a lot of people will walk themselves into some sort of fucking jail. God, even this is depressing me. So fucking, what can you do about it? The first thing is, don't fucking turn on each other. The person next to you didn't do fucking shit to you. They've been manipulated into this position just as much as you. Don't turn on each other. Begin leaving this system. Become a non-participant in this system, economic system. There's a parallel system being built at the moment on a fair and honest ledger. You all know what it is. All you need to do to protest World War III is take all your fucking energy, remove it from this dishonest, corrupt ledger system, and put it in the new, decentralized, honest ledger. And the other thing is just be good. It's that fucking simple. If you are good, if you operate from a place of love, then none of this happens. None of it. It can't. That's all it comes down to in the end. A very simple choice between love and hate. That's it. Now we'll see how close I got over the next year, 2 years, 3 years. Anyway, I hope that fucking didn't depress you too much, but you shouldn't be depressed because that's all it is, a choice between love and hate. Just choose love and there's nothing to worry about. All right, that'll do for today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and I'll see you the fuck later.